Metasource Games. I'm Robert Trussardi.
And I'm Joshua Aridhall Cantrell. We believe in scarcity-based gaming and the power of player ownership.
We are a small team focused on becoming #1 in blockchain and metaverse gaming.
So get ready and take a ride with us through the Metasource.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Through the Metasource, episode number 15. Episode number 15. Nice. This is the big raffle event for everybody who was crafting land packs and Castles, the NFT game. Players crafted 400,000 farms. They were minted to the blockchain on Wax. And people are using those farms to merge them, to get bonuses, and to create castles. And the castle assets in Castles, the NFT game, which mints royal seals, a highly coveted asset in our game. And yeah, it's been a really exciting week. We launched the Dungeons demo for our Dungeons expansion, something that we have spent a lot of time, money, and resources on this entire year building. So we're getting closer and closer. We're almost to the point where you guys will be able to open your packs and upgrade your heroes and start trading your heroes. And then we'll start rolling out more dungeon features after that. But it's a really exciting time. So in this video, we'll also hold an AMA. We'll probably do the raffle first, and then we'll let you guys have the AMA section. You guys can ask us questions. Yeah, thank you guys for playing. Let's see who's in the chat. Sebis313. I think that's a newer user. I don't think I've seen him around too much recently. RC, hello RC. Top Tendy, Eddie Longshanks, our unofficial court jester there in our community Discord. Devi Metal, our community manager. Good to see you, Devi. And Chad Hearn, good to see you, sir. Crypto Marco. And Rick B, good to see you again, sir. Lewis Babbage, good to see you, Lewis. And Pac-Man. Pac-Man's been helping us out with our TikTok channel, I heard. Thank you very much, Pac-Man, for giving us some guidance there. I think that's been going pretty well, actually, with the TikTok reception so far. And yeah, good to see you guys. Yeah, so anything to say, Josh? This is, you guys know Josh, right? My full business partner in Metasource Games, and together we built Castles, the NFT game. Last time, I think I said I do like 99% of the work on Castles, and he kind of made this face where it was like, but we both do. No, he's making that face again.
This guy over here, this guy.
It's terrible. I mean, really, I do so much work, guys. So we both grind a lot. We have been busting our asses. I think right now I have the whole team like asking themselves, what did they get themselves into when Robert came up with this really great Dungeons idea? Like, it sounds like a cool idea. And now we're in the thick of the reality, which is just like so much artwork, but it's a lot of fun. Right, Josh?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of templates still to be made, but we're making progress, right? I made 99 Luna templates yesterday. That's a lot of templates, for the record. That's a lot of work, multiple hours. But hey, it is making, it's getting there. Those are LiveNet templates. That's about it's about a sixth of the total that we need in order to get those packs opening. So yeah, it's still a little ways, but hopefully that does mean that we're getting pretty close. We have some finalization for some of the remainder of Luna's set pieces, and then Bancroft Caldor will be underway. Once we have all those built, we'll be ready to go. So we're getting close, guys, really close.
Behind the scenes, it takes a lot even to get to him where he can make the template. Got to make the artwork. Then we've done a lot of quality assurance. We want to make sure that the art looks good, and we've also been doing things trying to make sure that each of the variations feels a little unique. Sometimes we've had, like, let's say there's like a belt, and then one belt looked exactly like the next belt color, and the next, like, all three colors look the same. Like, there's no difference between the color of these three belts. They're the exact same color. So we've been going through and making updates like that, trying to make sure that there's at least enough variation between the colors that feels meaningful. When you update your characters. So there's a lot of QC, and so even before Josh gets to making the templates, like the art for the Dungeons expansion has touched a lot of hands, moving from process to process to get there. But we're getting very close. I think potentially we could have both Luna and Bancroft by the weekend fully templated on the main net, and then it's just Caldor. And once we have Caldor, then we can basically you guys open your packs. So we think it's most likely going to be next week, I think, is when they'll be able to open their packs. We still need to do a couple other things, like create the pack opening information and all that stuff for the pack openings. But we're getting very, very close to all those packs being opened. And once you guys can do that, you can upgrade your heroes. You can start to kind of plan out what heroes you are going to upgrade. I think a lot of people are going to start to find, oh, you know what? Like maybe it's actually kind of expensive for me to get one rare hero fully maxed out. Like maybe, I need to trade some things in order to make that happen. Or maybe I just want to be, a generalist and have like 3 common heroes fully equipped out, because definitely the more equipment you have for your characters, the better. Like if you have a fully kitted out character, like common character with full, or let's say uncommon character with full uncommon equipment, you get a slight bonus. And that's going to give you more efficiency for your treasure source and stamina recharge. But anyways, I've been talking a lot. Any other input, Josh, on where we're at with everything before we start to get into the raffle?
Well, the only other thing I want to remind everybody of is the Blacksmiths Guild wonder that we have all, or many of us at least, have spent some time crafting. A lot of you had a lot better luck than me and Robert did. We had terrible luck, but those are just waiting for the equipment templates to all be ready. So I don't necessarily want to say at the exact same time that the packs are opening, because there's a little bit of time and we don't want to make the team have to work extra hard on a Friday, something like that. But the Blacksmith Guild will be functional very shortly after the packs are openable. So so that's kind of a twofer that will be happening really at the same time. So you'll be able to start upgrading your equipment by reforging commons into uncommons and then uncommons into rares. That's going to be awesome. And then, of course, there will be blending possibilities up to rare, but there isn't going to be the possibility to go any higher than rare right away. And there may be even some limits onto how many rares we want to do. Because like Robert said, you probably don't want to blend up all of your uncommons into rares and things like that. It's going to be tough to fully deck out a rare hero with equipment, because the Blacksmith Guild takes a little time. It takes time to build up. So, obviously you guys will be in charge of your own destinies. You can do whatever you want, but, we're excited to get it into your hands so that you can make all the right or wrong choices that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, special thanks to our team over at Apex NFT, who builds our website and smart contracts. They put in a lot of work getting the demo and everything that we have seen thus far. So and Hero Pack set. Monster Tome Pack sale this Thursday. I think it'll be one of the biggest drops we've had in a while, I think. It's going to be pretty exciting. We've been doing a lot of marketing for that. So guys. All right. So Josh, you have the list of the people who have their points for this, and I think you have a plan for how we're going to do all this, right?
Yeah, so it's complicated, right? So I definitely want to make sure that I go over it with everybody, because you're going to want to understand it. I've already linked the document in Discord so everybody can take a look at it. But it's a lot of numbers. It's probably very intimidating to take a look at. Essentially, you know what? Why don't I start with sharing my screen so that everybody who doesn't want to look at that, share screen. Okay. All right, so that's ready whenever you are ready to push it over there, Robert.
Got to go back into.
Long story short, with this very daunting looking image here, long story short is I've built a raffle generator. It's a pretty serious little piece of work here. I can actually condense some of these bars, maybe make it a little easier to look at. I've created a number generator. All right, so if you look here, we've got your wallet and your points. This should be exactly equal to what you had on the leaderboard when the freeze happened at 400,000 farms. If you scroll down, you've got the total amount of raffle entries. This is our biggest raffle ever, with 26,359 entries. That is more than twice as much as our lumberjack raffle, which was over 10,000. And that one was crazy. That one was huge. So with this, we've more than doubled it, right? 2.5 times, a little more than 2.5 times even. So a very, very serious amount of stuff here. And we also have our biggest reward pool ever with 419 total prizes. So all of that ultimately meant that we're going to have to do something a little differently. So I built this generator, and I've already tested it a number of times, so it works. So you'll just have to take my word on that. I'm not going to go through all of the details on how it works. Essentially, it weighs and accumulates your points and etc. You can see we start at 0. And if you scroll down, it ends just shy of 1, which is intentional. The last row here would be 1. So there you go. That's what we've got. It's very complicated, and I could simply just click a button and randomize, and that's how we would be done. Just as simple as that, but that's not any fun, right? So all of these numbers here are randomizers, all right, between 0 and 1, which is perfect because we have a weight accumulation system. So anytime you enter anything on this, you'll see if I push the number 1 here and enter, boom, all the randomization just changed. If I do the same thing again, to enter, boom, it all changes again. But it's auto picking your essentially your weight in the pool here. So pretty straightforward. And if I delete these, it'll randomize again. So what we're going to do is we're going to run Crittercraft. And what we're going to do with Crittercraft is we're going to take the ID of the critter, the number 1 overall critter. We're going to enter his digits one at a time, the actual digits themselves, up to 3, because it's between 1 and 200. So if number 1 wins, we just enter a 1, and then whatever the randomization has ended up with, that's the end of it. But if we have a 3-digit number, say 155, then we'll enter 1, then we'll enter 5, and then we'll enter 5. And the final randomization from this export column right here, which is the same as the winners, it's just adds a comma, which we need for technical reasons. That final export number will be the prize winners. And like I said, you can look at this document yourself. But if you scroll down, you will see that we have a total of 419 randomization entries. Okay, so then to make things just a little extra fun, I figured, if we just enter the critters as critter 1, critter 2, critter 3, that's boring. So I went ahead and named them all. So we have random names for all of them. There's actually only 20 names, and they repeat 10 times each. And so what we're going to do is we're going to randomize the range. There we go. Data.
Did you
randomize.
Basically just make a whole game?
Kinda, yeah. I built this last night before I went to bed.
Josh basically invented a game, guys, to figure out how to do the raffle for the Crittercraft game that we're going to do. It is definitely game Inception.
This kind of a game within a game within a game.
So that we could put you in raffle in a game, so we could create a game around the raffle.
Yeah, so it's this is its own little thing, and who knows if we ever get another
Heavy Metal says,
20,000
Robert has never looked
entries.
happier not to be the math guy. Well, I'm probably more of a math guy than you think, but I think what Josh has taken it another level, and he was just like, oh, I'm bored tonight. Why don't I just build a whole new video game?
So
But I have a raffle going on tomorrow. I'll build a video game around the raffle.
there you go, exactly. So now you can see after I've randomized the names that each of the names, I built it so that it takes the name and then it gives it an ID. And so each of the names has an ID. So now when we're playing Crittercraft, we can cheer on their name rather than their ID, or we can lament them as they splat. And then, of course, the only thing that will matter is their ID at the end. That'll determine what we put in the boxes and the randomization. So what we will do here is we will take 1 through 200 of our critters. We will copy them, and we will enter them into Grubfish Royale. Boom. Okay, and hopefully this works correctly on Grubfish. I think it will. I don't think the space will be a problem, but I guess we'll find out. If it is,
you
then
put it in there. So,
well, yeah, it did. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm not necessarily certain whether or not the space will be a problem. I could actually take the space out pretty easily, but even if it does, for some reason, separate the names from the numbers and create 400 entries, then, oh well, we'll just take whatever the highest number is, and it'll essentially work the same, right? So, all right. So everybody ready to see some crazy, weird Grubfish and cheer for whatever these weird names you like? Let's do it.
Vippy.
I know.
That's a new name to me, Vippy.
I just slapped all sorts of weird stuff in there. So cheer on your favorite, and hopefully that means you will win the most stuff.
I mean, you actually just wrote 200 different names. You came up with those?
Well, I only made 20 names, and then I duplicated them 10 times each. So.
Oh, and then you give the numbers. Okay.
And then I gave them IDs. Yep. All right. So it did work properly. Look at that. 200, and we're already down 61 of them. All of your favorite ones are now dead. You're going to have to pick somebody else to root for.
Louis Babbage says, no idea what's going on, but give me a Baron.
There is one Baron in there, guys. We should mention the dungeon packs. There are 3 exalted and 9 standard dungeon packs. And in that list is the mint number 1 for the exalted and the standard packs. So that's just kind of a little added bonus. The mint 1s are in there. I see Pokey. I see Waffle. I see Ace. The weirdest names ever. I just randomly slapped them in there. We've got 26 remaining. Who will be the final? We gotta sing some final countdown.
I think this is basically what it's like inside Josh's head. It's like randomization numbers, funny names, dying green critters.
Yeah, dying little critters. Yes, you see, this seems right.
Basically,
somebody. I didn't see who it was.
Dreams. I think this is what you would see.
All right, what do we got? Come on. There it is. All right, it was Stabsy. The critter Stabsy number 133 was our winner. Congratulations, Stabsy. You're going to give me all the land packs. That's what's going to happen right here. All right. You heard it here first. Okay, so now what we're going to do, that was ID 133. So we're going to enter a 1. Boom. Randomizes 3. Boom. And then 3. And then whatever this final number is, that's what you got. And there it is. Lots of good stuff. I'm sure that you will see that there are a lot of repeat names. People that have a lot of entries are going to be the ones that win multiple times. That's the same as our other raffles. We do have some pretty lopsided people up at the top here. The top 3 with almost 1,500 apiece. That's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. And then, it goes down from there. But there you go. That's what we got. You can see the final entries there. in that export column. And the winners column, they're the same. Like I said, it's just the addition of the comma. So you can go through, find yourself. You can do Control F and search your wallet and see how many times it shows up. Divide it by 2 and subtract 1 because you will show up in the account column, of course. And then winners and export, you'll show up twice. But there you go. You've got some packs. I've already exported the list here. And so we'll start distributing here in just a little bit. Congratulations, everybody.
Nice. Wow. I can't believe you had time to figure all that out between yesterday and today.
Hey, I don't want to take too much credit for it, right? I had to dig around to find a good way to do it. And ultimately I didn't find one. But I did find a discussion forum with people discussing how to kind of build something like this in Excel. And so I took a lot of their work and duplicated it and then added our own fun spin to it, right? So I didn't have to build it entirely from scratch. A lot of these functions, I just had to figure out how to put the functions together to do what I wanted.
Well, good work. That was pretty involved. Those results have been posted in the Discord. We'll be sending those packs out between probably today and tomorrow.
They're ready to go. So you'll have them within the next hour at most, probably.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So, awesome. Debbie Metal says he got 2 packs. Worst case scenario, a free Explorers pack. Basically, yeah, we did increase the reward, so there's twice as many land packs now than there was original.
Yeah. It's our best. It's our best raffle because the amount of farms did not go up, but the amount of better prices did go up. So obviously there are still a lot of farms in there. So everybody should be well aware of that. But there are a lot of other really good prizes too. So.
Louis Babbage says, was that the Baron raffle? Well, that was the raffle for the prizes, and then there will be prizes inside the packs. You know how this works, right, Louis? So he says, in this pack, I will find the Baron.
Hey, I want to see you. I want to see you pull the Baron.
So I want to see you pull the Baron too, Louis.
Let's see it. I want to see it.
When I was playing making land packs, I'd like to get a hero pack. Like Exalted pack would be nice.
Oh yeah.
I've still never really gotten anything really great from these raffles so far. I think like the best I've gotten is a Bankers pack, I think, which isn't terrible. Definitely.
Yeah, we doubled those. So they're rather than usually our raffles have 6 banker packs. There's 12, and 6 King's Vaults. Let's see, 24 minstrel packs. Pretty awesome. There's a lot of packs in there. Packception. You could open packs within packs within packs.
If you want to count the land packs that you craft, yes. It basically never ends.
Craft land packs to win more packs.
This time. Oh, it's too bad. Sorry to hear that, Chad. I think we actually did have a lot of people participating in the land pack crafting. So.
And there are a lot of people that came on late and maybe didn't have a whole ton of entries, and that certainly makes it harder to win when, some of the top players had, over 1,000. It's tough to compete with that. They're probably going to get some good stuff here.
Nice. Shivam says he got 8. Nice. We must crafted a lot of packs. So the AMA, we're now in the AMA segment. Josh and I have been here working long and hard. So go ahead, ask me anything.
Let's talk about dungeons. Let's talk about demos. We could play with the demo too while we're chatting, I suppose. Does everybody have
it up and play around with it?
I will here in a second. I'm sending out packs. So 200 packs have already been sent. I can multitask, you guys. I'm pretty good at this. But But yeah, let's hear from you guys. What do you think about the demo so far? Have you spent much time with it? Have you not yet fiddled with it? What do you guys think?
Good question. Apparently, everybody already knows what they need to know about dungeons.
To answer, yeah, column A is just everybody is listed in column A, right? So if you did something at all, then you're in column A.
So when is the Alchemist event? Probably after the initial dungeon launch. After you can start crafting monsters, at some point after that. That's kind of like the best estimation right now. Basically, you won't need, rune source until a little bit of time until you can start crafting monsters or fighting with your heroes. So that will probably be one of the last things to come in this section of the dungeons expansion.
Right. And when we do it, it's likely we might do the event a little differently. We've been toying with the idea of doing that event not with a timer, but rather, maybe a supply limit, right? Say, oh, we've kind of determined that the economy needs around 4,000 of these, so that's the limit. That's a random number. That's not the accurate final number. But, so we'll, of course, when we get closer to it and we're ready to start doing it, we'll give you guys all the details. But yeah, it is probably going to be a little ways because, like Robert said, we don't need the extra rune source generation right now. So there's no reason to bring it out too early. There's a lot of circulating rune source, and you guys are generating at a good pace. But once the tomes are out and monsters are being crafted and heroes are being recharged, yeah, we're going to start burning through that supply. And that's when we'll start needing it.
Yes. Debbie says raffle packs must be open on NFT. Yes, they're pre-minted, so it means that that's an NFT blocks feature.
Yes. In fact, let me post I'll post it in Discord for everybody. It's really easy. You go to NFT blocks /c/castles NFT, and then you go to the pack section. I will post that in announcements. I won't ping everybody, but it's there. So in the announcements channel, you can see the pack link that'll take you right to it. Please don't burn the raffle packs. That would not be good. Don't burn them. We can't help you if you do. It's blockchain. There's nothing we can do at all about it. So please go to NFT blocks to unpack them. And we're 300 in out of 419, by the way. So actually 400. So almost all of them distributed. They're going pretty fast this time. Okay. Lewis has a question there about pack animations. At this point, we're not planning to do pack animations. It's something that we could potentially do in the future if we wanted to. I know that that's kind of a divided topic. Some people want it to go faster. Some people want it to go slower. Some people love the animations. It's definitely a divided idea. So we'll see. It's possible. The biggest thing that we'll have is when you're opening your loot packs from killing monsters and things, which will be done on the site. It's possible, maybe we'll put together a little animation for that, and it'll be something you can choose to skip if you want to. You can, maybe there'll be a toggle like skip animations, and then it won't run them. But we'll see how that goes.
All right. So you guys wanted to see the demo. Oh, I don't know why, but apparently the characters are sized differently in Chrome than they are from Edge. This is Edge, and the character is a little bit smaller. We'll have to see why that is. But yeah. around
I
in
love
here.
playing with this thing.
I'm all distracted, and we should be looking at the questions. But yeah, no other questions, huh, guys? And just talk about, so it seems kind of weird how we originally came up with this idea, but what happened was we had our major drop for the land packs and stuff like that, and we'd been financially successful, so we were like, you know what, we should just lean into building our product. We should reinvest the money that our players have given us for the land packs and all that, and we should then put that back into the game and create something awesome. And I was like, well, it'd be awesome as if we had like a dungeon with heroes. And I was like, what's really missing in this space is, being able to really customize your heroes. Like you have a lot of these PFP things, the character portrait things like CryptoPunks and what are some of the other ones that are out there? The Bored Ape Yacht Club, that kind of thing. And it was like, well, why don't we do something where you actually can customize your heroes, but it looks more like a tabletop game with the base and all that stuff. And so, yeah, we just kind of put all these really cool elements together, like the trading, the character trading, the monster trading. So you guys know, like this particular Calder set, actually a lot of Calder, his stuff is getting updated. So, we're doing another, like basically consistency pass. We call it a consistency pass, but it's actually kind of upgrading some of his artwork. Like the shirt, I was not a fan of the shirt. Try to get this weapon out of the way. Here we go. There we go. So it's not a fan of how this kind of shirt came out. So we had them go do another pass to kind of do it. I think this one also got a light pass on that shirt. That shirt was okay. That one was okay. That one was probably okay. This one I requested another pass on because I think it was a slightly different style. You can see it's a little more defined and less painted. And so I think we kind of generally went with more of a painted look for some of the ones that came out, looking just a little too defined. Like this one's definitely a little more like painted airbrush. This one's definitely painted airbrush. That one, I'll go back. This one was probably a little less. You can see there's kind of a style difference between this one and this one. So this has been part of our quality assurance pass and why, we didn't really make, this week the way we wanted to for the hero pack opening. But yeah, Luna just had a pirate set made because she didn't have an uncommon 6. And definitely the higher you get, the better the artwork starts to look. And we've only released the top, basically the commons, uncommons, and rares. You guys haven't seen the best stuff yet in the demo. The epics, the legendary, the mythics. Most of those are still done, but we still need to do like our quality assurance pass and stuff on those ones as well. But yeah, we have any other questions popping up here?
Fish G has we talked about that one. The when wealth NFTs into treasure source, that is very high on our list. So hopefully fairly soon. I don't know exactly when that will be, but it is definitely on the list, very high up there. So I would guess a couple of weeks at most, kind of a thing. We have kind of some stuff already underway for that, and it's all designed and planned. It just needs the last little bit of implementation. But obviously, right now the team is focused on making sure we get these templates all finalized and made. So kind of everything else is waiting on that. Once those are good to go, then like I said, the Blacksmith Guild is mostly done. It'll just have to be pushed live, after we test it a little bit to make sure. So we'll test and then we'll go that live. And then probably the wealth NFTs being depositable and wealth being converted into treasure source will be coming shortly after that.
see. Doing this. Oh, Louis Babbage says, don't forget the Halloween and Christmas costumes. That would be nice, but it's actually pretty expensive. It takes a lot of time to do each one of these. So I'm not
out of the question for the future. But
not out of the question, but it's probably not. We're not going to make Halloween. It'd be really tricky to probably make Christmas this year. But
Christmas is definitely not Halloween. There's definitely not time. The amount of time that it takes to make these sets, it's a pretty serious amount of time. So there's really no way. Even like Robert said, Christmas would be fairly tough. Not entirely impossible, but tough. So we'll see. But I know that you guys are keen to have some some holiday event kind of sets. So it is something that we're keeping in mind, and we would like to do it. It's just a matter of timing and things like that. So we'll see how it goes.
So Top Tendy says, what comes next after Dungeons is live? Well, I want to start focusing on some PvP, and what I think PvP would look like is you guys would be able to essentially craft these like army NFTs, or basically like these like squad NFTs, and might look like having like an archer and warriors and like spellcasters or something to be part of your team, like a squad or something, and then you could potentially use a hero for some of these. This is kind of like loose spitballing ideas. Nothing's been decided, but I think kind of the cool part of this would be if we have basically these, what do you call it? Like these tournament tiers where, in each tournament, the prize gets bigger. And so you can cash out by taking your PvP winnings, but there will probably be a penalty for taking out your winnings. But if you go on to the next round, you have potential to win more. So, and really, we need to make sure the incentive is there to try to go as far as you can. Would it be really cool to have like an infinite amount of tiers? So like maybe there's like a prize pool that's worth like 100 times more than the standard prize pool. And at that top prize pool, you're just waiting for more people to enter that prize pool or take their winnings. I think it'd be really interesting. I think it's kind of cool to see organic stuff like that and kind of see what the players do. Like, is there someone who doesn't really care about their winnings? Or are they just going to keep on trying to be like the farthest ahead and one of the people in, one of the top rounds? Is there someone who's played like 200 rounds and now he's part of this like really massive pool? Does anybody want to try to like battle him and join that pool with him? So it's just something we're spitballing. Nothing's been decided, but I think it would be really cool to do PvP after Dungeons. And then there's also going to be another Dungeons expansion. We're not sure when it would come out yet, but it'll probably introduce like maybe 2 more heroes, and those will be new classes. And they'll be really important for you guys then to have mythic heroes, because then the people who already have mythic heroes will have the best chance to start to get those new characters as well for those new classes. Let's see. We do auto battles daily. Not sure what you mean by having those things together, but the auto battles will be in Dungeons actually, but we'd love to have PvP in there. Yeah. Beam Hive says, why do we end up with 150 legendary tomes instead of 100? Didn't see any demand for more tomes. I thought people want them to be scarce. We're thinking, was it more people wanted to?
Let me get this one. First of all, they are definitely the most scarce by leaps and bounds. So don't be deceived by the numbers on the drop. Right, so you see 150 of the legendary tomes and 200 of the epic tomes. It seems like their scarcity is going to be similar. That's not the case at all. We just shifted some numbers around, right? So there's going to be a lot of those epic tomes that will be available from the Royal Seal blend if we sell out, and there will be none of the legendary tomes available from that Royal Seal blend. So that makes a very big difference. That the legendary monster tomes will be easily 3 times more scarce than the epic tomes, if not more than that. So those are going to be very, very scarce. A big difference, though, is there are a lot of people that are wanting to jump right to rare heroes. And the math ultimately kind of suggests, hey, if you're going to jump straight to a rare hero and you want to sustain your rare heroes, we're going to need more supply of the legendary monster tomes available. And that's really what it kind of came down to, is we've talked to a number of different people about how many heroes they have, what they're going to do, and etc. And we just made the decision, hey, I think we need a little bit more of these. And so that's basically the reason, right? And if we get a gigantic influx of new players, then we'll need to do another drop. Of course, supply is going to be something we're always keeping a very tight watch over, but we also don't want it to be something where we have all these players and there's so few monsters that it becomes very frustrating for the players because they just can't get a hold of them, and that's not what we ever want. And that's not what you guys want either. You want to be able to have your monsters, right? You don't want to have your 3 rare heroes. Let's just say I'm sure there will be some people that their plan is to get 1 of each rare hero. And you don't want it to be that you just can't get enough rare heroes to sustain your heroes and get your weekly boss done, right? So to do your weekly boss, you're going to need to do at least 15 in a week. You can only get 7 of those from the free daily, so you're going to need at least 8 more for each of your heroes. That would be the absolute minimum. And if you can't get a hold of them, that's going to be really frustrating, really, really frustrating. So we don't want that to be the case. We're obviously going to keep a really close eye on supply. Right now, at 150 legendary monster tomes, that's still probably quite undersupplied. And so we don't necessarily want to release too much more of them before we launch, right? But after we launch, we can kind of see, hey, there's a lot of pain in people really needing the higher rarity monsters, and we'll go from there. We'll just make adjustments. We'll do another drop if we need to, things like that. But that is the reason why the numbers changed a little bit. We just needed to do a little bit more of those. We did reduce the epic amount, and we moved a bunch into that other sale to reward you guys, essentially, being able to make some of those epic ones with royal seals, which is a really great opportunity for everyone. Hopefully we get that sale to sell out so that you get access to that, because we know that you're going to need the tomes, a lot more tomes than this first drop, quite a bit more. So hopefully we can sell out. We can have that royal seal sale. You guys can make as many within certain limits, but make as many as hopefully you want and you need for your personal gameplay goals, and hopefully that will work out great for everybody. By increasing the legendary and decreasing the epic, the amount of total amount that needs to be spent to sell out is roughly the same. It's very close to the same. We didn't want to make that harder for you guys to achieve, so that's why we increased one and reduced another.
Has some ideas there. Yeah, I kind of like idea of like a bounty system. Again, like if we do the PvP, want to make sure that it's it's fun and that there's kind of like a reason beyond some kind of like tokenomics. We don't really want tokenomics necessarily be the reason that you will play that version. We want to make sure there's some kind of like bragging rights, some sort of what do you call it, intangible reason for wanting to participate in PvP. So it's something we still need to discuss, and it's still in a just basically in planning and talking stages. So if the project released more legendary tomes, the price of those tomes will be the same. Well, the plan is that they'll become more expensive, but once we release these things in the wild, well, then the market really secondary market determines their prices. And so we'll have to see. I mean, we don't lower the prices of things we sell, that's for sure. And so, I think we'll have to see. I think the demand for dungeons is going to be huge. And the more people who find out, I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, over time, it just incrementally grows and grows in terms of users, and people start to find that it's here. People are like, oh, this is what we've been wanting for blockchain games. Like, really, like something that is fun. It's fun to trade. It's fun to customize your heroes. And I think the more people that find it, eventually it just takes like one really big YouTuber or something who just covers something to be like, oh, this is actually really awesome. And then it goes viral. And before you know it, you got everybody looking at it. But I think that's that's the future that's ahead for us with dungeons.
Help us get there. Let's get there together.
Right. Yeah.
And I did want to also just comment on just above with the Christmas hats and tricorn hats and things like that. Maybe that would be a fun thing that we could do, right? Instead of having to design a whole set for each of them, maybe like thinking of Christmas hats, right? Maybe there's not time for us to give them each a full Christmas set, but maybe there's time that we could make a Christmas hat for each of them, right? And we could drop them as kind of a promo thing, a little Christmas promo event or something like that, right? They won't enter the regular packs, but they'll be obtainable for a limited time, something like that. That might be achievable. So we'll keep that in mind. That's good ideas. Thanks. I just wanted to acknowledge that those are good ideas. And I love the tricorn hat too, because everyone needs a Baron hat. I need one. I need a Baron hat. So I know everybody needs one.
I see you in a Baron hat, like I with my my
one.
Robert vision.
I gotta find a good one, or I gotta find somebody who will make me one for a good price, because I don't want to spend a whole crap load of money on it. Because I do actually know a really great hat maker, but she charges a lot of money. Like a lot. Like it'll easily be over $1,000, and it's just like, it's maybe a little too much for a hat that is mostly just for entertainment purposes. So it's like I could get one on Amazon.
And I'll send you a hat.
Yeah.
It all takes is like some rolled up newspapers and
there you go. I'll make one of those.
Kind of like wheat paste or something like that.
Yeah.
Top 10D asks, will there be more uses for lands in the future at all? We want there to be. It's still a little farther ahead, but it could even be tied to, like, say, PvP. Like maybe you could put in a land into the PvP mode, and that would essentially give you a certain kind of like bonus, and then your land would be locked into that character. But again, it's just like an idea, right? So, So we're kind of like not for lack of ideas, we're just more of a lack of time. And resources.
Yeah, we have a large amount of great ideas, right? That's certainly not the problem. But we've got to focus on the ideas that we're currently developing, right? You guys don't want us to get too divided on the things that we're building either. You want us to launch dungeons, and you want it to be successful and the best that it can possibly be. So we're focusing on that pretty heavily. And, we have things for the future. Robert's got some great ideas with PvP. I've got some good ways that we can make that work for everybody. Maybe like Robert said, lands can be a part of it. Different tokens can be a part of it. There's all kinds of different ways that we can make that really fun. Hopefully we'll get to those, but we don't want to put too much effort into planning that when we have a whole heck of a lot of stuff still in the present that needs to get done.
What Babbage says, imagine I keep slaying you all. I have 10 wins in a row. I have to keep my guy charged and weapon sharp. And some new player chooses to fight me and wins that big bounty on my head. That's a cool idea. I mean, I'd be interested in some sort of idea where, like maybe, maybe during a, like people can possibly take you on, and like you have like 8 hours or something to like spend resources to recharge a guy and repower him back up, and you can kind of decide like, oh, am I going to charge him, am I going to spend resources to recharge him and keep him powerful or not, rather than just a static system. It's actually a pretty good idea. We'll have to chat about that. If we end up using something from that, Lewis, we'll have to give you a nice little reward. No promises, but
we'll kick him a hero. Here you go.
yeah, we'll kick him a hero.
A new
Christmas, at least December. We'll see. I mean, it's like one of those like nice to have features, but our nice to have feature list is very long right now.
Yeah.
There are many things we'd like to have. We'd like to update our calendar, but our team's kind of basically has more tasks than they can get to right now for dungeons. So it's kind of like, it'd be nice to have. We have a lot. Our nice to have list is like one of our biggest lists at the moment. Smarties, hello Smarties, good to see you. Welcome back. And Lewis says, I'm always free. I'll DM Josh with a plan. He's going to give you the plan. Yeah, Lewis always has a lot of ideas in our suggestions channel. I
get a lot of good DMs, you guys. I appreciate them, though. I'm not saying that to discourage them. I'm saying that to say our community is a lot of very creative people, and we appreciate it. You know, rarely do we get an opportunity to implement them, at least right away, because, like Robert said, our list of things like that would be really nice gets quite long. Right. Somebody had a really fun idea just earlier that they were telling me about. What was it? It's just right here. I know it's not that far away. Scrolling. There were some different ideas like, you could do this with certain gear pieces and change things around. And, there's some great ideas, but a lot of them, sometimes it's just more complication. And we're like, the game's already got a lot of complicated aspects. We don't necessarily want to make it tougher for new players. And then the other aspect is like, yeah, that is a cool feature, but, we just have so many others that are in the pipeline. So keep the ideas coming and don't be offended if we can't get to them right away. We do appreciate good suggestions, and sometimes they're easy, right? Sometimes we get good suggestions and they're really easy to implement. And, if it's a great suggestion, it's easy to implement, then we try and do it. It's just, there's a lot of stuff going on.
All right. Let's see. This Jesus, where can I check the next month's schedule? We don't have anything laid out right now. It's a lot of it's in the Discord. But we also don't have a lot that is actually down for certain. Most of the stuff that we do is basically being planned about a week ahead of time, and we tell you guys about a week ahead of when we're going to do it. That is the kind of schedule we're on at the moment. We'll tell you a good chance of what's going to happen next week. This week is the Monster Tome Sale on Thursday, and the next week is very likely a pack opening, but we don't have an exact day yet. Actually, we probably won't have an exact day up until very close. We'll probably have a day where like, maybe this day, and maybe we'll be able to tell you guys a day or two ahead of time that we think we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. But there's some things that we need to test that we haven't done yet. Like we're not 100% certain yet how we've been told that technically they don't see any reason that we shouldn't be able to fit all of our hero templates into a pack opening. But no one's ever done it before either. No one's ever put as many of these templates into a pack before. They're like, well, technically it should work. We're like, well, we'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to somebody about that earlier. They were asking me about that, and I was like, we're going to be testing. We're going to be breaking new ground on Wax for sure. So, it's one of those things. We might have to segment the packs, right? We might have to create packs within packs, like this is a Luna rare piece of equipment. And so that it's for Luna and it's rare, and then you open it and there's, there'd still be within Luna's rare, that's still 66 templates within Luna rare. All right. Even that. is bigger than almost any other pack does. Okay. So that's a serious amount of stuff. If we fit everything in, which we're going to try and do, because we don't want to make it, I don't love the idea of segmenting the packs. It's frustrating, but think about it this way. If we do end up being able to pack all of the templates into a single pack, it's going to be close to 600 options in the Exalted pack. Now, the standard pack is less because it doesn't include rares, so it's more like 400 options. But even 400 options is bigger than anyone's ever done, right? And 600 is 50% more than anyone's ever done, right? It's massive amount of possibilities. So we're just going to have to see the technical side of how that goes. If it works, then fabulous. But if we hit some kind of a blockchain limit, like you try and open your pack and it just literally won't open because there's just too much RNG, then we'll have to break the packs into a pack within a pack. And that's not what we want to do, but we're just going to have to see what the blockchain can handle. Any other questions, guys? Thank you guys for awesome feedback and suggestions and everything. You guys are awesome. You guys make this so much fun.
Yeah, I was going to reiterate that, our goal is to sell out of the packs that we're about to release, because not the packs, but the monster tomes. We sell the monster tomes will unlock the ability to use Royal Seals to create some monster tomes and hero packs. So, we think that's really, huge thing to strive for, because if you guys can reach that goal and we can sell out of these, there's going to be, just easier access for you guys to get some of these.
Yeah, and there's so many options. So you can kind of decide where you want to go with it, right? You can say, hey, I think I'm going to play with a lot of commons and uncommons. So what I would really like to do is just get a very bulk amount of rare monster tomes. And maybe that's the direction you go and you make a lot of rare monster tomes. Or, maybe you're thinking, hey, I want to focus on mostly the higher end heroes. My goal is mainly to race to mythic as fast as possible. I know there are a lot of people that is their goal. It's going to be a tough goal, right? If you start doing the math, it's going to be really tough to get to mythic. It's going to be a lot of work, but the more rare heroes you put forward to it, the faster you'll be able to go. And those people are probably going to say, hey, I'm going to try and spend all my Royal Seals, on the epic tomes. And that's what I want, because that's, they give me the higher chances of getting some of the rarer monsters that'll move me towards that goal. Right. So there's a lot of different possibilities. And some of you might just be thinking, well, you know what? I ended up buying as many tomes as I wanted in the first sale, but I could stand for some more heroes. And so you'll have the hero pack option in there too, to burn some seals, get some heroes at a good rate, and that'll be cool. Lots of options for you guys.
Yeah, it is pretty expensive to live here. That's for sure. VM Hive says, sorry for being boring about monster tomes. Will there be also a goal that then a next drop if it happens will be max or smaller in terms of the first one? No, with with the sales of the items, we're still in the middle of the release of the dungeon expansion. So one of the things is that there's going to be a point where basically we don't sell any more hero packs. And you guys are going to be the ones who supply the heroes, kind of the same way that we did with castles. We occasionally might do, like giveaways or something for hero packs, but otherwise, the vast majority of the new lands being created is only going to come from players. And so how we'll be able to monetize the game is with the new monster tome cells, but we don't know how often we're going to do those. Basically we're going to watch supply, but there's always going to be an inflating supply of heroes, but monster tomes will not be. You can't find them in the dungeon. That's not how you get the monster tomes. So basically, we're going to basically watch and see how many monster tomes need to be released, and then we'll likely start selling those. But what are those? When does that happen? Might happen when people just start to complain about how expensive monster tomes are. We don't know, but we're gonna have to kind of watch and see.
Yeah, the supply and demand dictates that so much, right? We're not going to flood the market with them, that's for sure. But we also don't want it to be like Robert said. If the legendary monster tomes are so high demand that it's it's just totally impractical for somebody to get a hold of them, then we'll drop some more. We're not going to drop them, like Robert said earlier. We're definitely not ever going to drop them for cheaper, right? So you don't have to worry about anything like that. But we will just have to be flexible with supply and demand, because there isn't a way to get monster tomes in dungeons, but there will be ways to get more heroes. So more heroes will mean more monsters are needed, but the tomes don't automatically inflate. So we will at least every so often need to drop some new ones.
Let's see. So Lewis Babbage says, what do we use royal seals for in dungeons? Like everything?
Treasure source conversion.
He already knows the answer to this, but
yeah. Treasure source conversion, rune source. I mean, it's already being used to create rune source, right? And with the alchemist, it's the same, right? You will need a royal seal and a certain amount of M source. So it's still royal seals are necessary in creation of rune source. And both treasure source and rune source, you can already kind of do the numbers on how many monster tomes there might be available here pretty soon, and how much we're going to need in a week, things like that. You guys can start doing the math. We've done the math, but we don't want to just throw bulk numbers at you guys and things like that. You don't want to do that. Some of you want to see it, but some of you don't. So that's why we're not throwing numbers around. But yeah, there's those things are pretty bulky in and of themselves, right? There's going to probably be some other places, you use them with blending heroes, also, going from common to uncommon to rare. And if and when the rare to epic blend becomes available, it'll be used there too. And obviously that one is one that we're gonna hold on to for a little while until the timing is right for that. But yeah, there's a lot of royal seals that will be needed to keep that entire economy going. A lot more than there are currently made. I know that there are some players that are concerned with royal seals, but if you look at the markets, you can kind of see, royal seals are going down, down, down. But if one person comes in and buys 100 of them, the price doubles. The supply on the market is not that high. If one whale came in and spent $1,000, all the seals would be gone, and then they'd be $5 again. So it's pretty interesting. We'll have to see, but I think there's going to be plenty of royal seal burning. It'll start with this first special event where you can turn those seals into tomes, but throughout dungeons, this is going to be a lot.
Yeah, they're like dungeons. There's not enough royal seals that will ever be in existence to feed dungeons. It's just going to be a massive churn of royal seals.
And as more heroes come out and more equipment and things like that, that's more things to recharge. That's more tokens that are needed to get that done. And then as more tomes are required to keep those heroes sustainable with the amount of monsters they need, then that's even more recharging that's necessary. So it really kind of feeds into more and more seals. Gets very hungry very quickly. Oh, and just to answer the question from Lewis, two down from this one, all the raffle packs are sent out, so you should have them all. Sometimes the chain earlier, it was the chain was being a little slow, so like it was minting, it was like successful, but then maybe taking 5 minutes or so for it to actually reach your wallet. But at this point, they should all be there. And I was looking in my wallet a little bit ago, and it looked like all the ones that I ended up getting were there. So,
Yeah.
so you should have them.
Yeah, James Diaz, welcome. We have the raffle results in our Discord, and if you can check your wallet, Josh has started sending some of those out. What's the forecast to the first Mythic Hero? What is it, like 2-3 months, something like that?
I mean, it depends on you guys, right? How much you coordinate your efforts.
Well, that's true. I mean, if
That's the
you're,
biggest thing.
yeah, if you're not buying any mythic fragments, it totally depends on you. But I come to think of it, actually, we'll probably see a mythic hero much sooner. There's probably going to be someone who just wants to get that first mythic hero and will buy your fragments for,
Right.
for a decent price. There's no way for us to know for sure, but projection is, once it's going to be up to, if there's someone out there really wants a mythic hero first, there can only be 90 total mythic heroes. We decided that, whether it's Luna, Bancroft, or Caldor, we're just going to keep count of all the mythic heroes in existence. And when it hits 90, that is we're going to increase the cost of mythic heroes, and likely we'll do something similar with the other heroes. We'll probably increase the amount of,
at least for legendaries, almost certainly. Yeah.
Yeah, for legendaries and I would
Maybe
think for
epics
like
even.
rares, epics and rares as well. But it's something we kind of have to just we're going to probably evaluate. But
Yeah.
we do want it to be harder to start to get some of those rare heroes.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone worked really, really hard together, right, and say a guild, really funneled all of their fragments, first of all, you're going to have to use rares to get an epic hero, right? So because that's not going to be blendable right away, and so you're going to have to work hard to get an epic. A rare hero should be able to achieve an epic. And if you only had one and you were being really efficient, you could get one in maybe a month, maybe a little over a month, but that's just by yourself and with one hero. Stacking a bunch of rare heroes would obviously cut that time down a lot. And then a bunch of rare heroes with a bunch of friends or guildmates working together would cut that even further. So you kind of have to work your way up the line. With those things, it will very much depend on how people work together with those fragments. But the fragments will be tradable, so you can sell your fragments or you can buy other people's fragments to try and get out ahead of the game. And that's going to be very much up to you guys and how coordinated you are, right? If like I said, if a big guild works really, really hard with every single one of their rares and they try and stack as many epics and they're buying as many extra fragments from people, maybe it could be done in a month. I would be surprised, but you guys have a history of surprising me, right? So maybe you will, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of work to get up to Mythic. It's no small feat. I will be very impressed. And once you get up to Mythic, which hero you're going to get. So who's going to get the mint 1 of Luna and who's going to get the mint 1 of Mythic Caldor, etc. Right? There's going to be a race for that too. And who knows, Mythic number 2 could be mint number 2 of the same one that came out first. And then you're like, no, I wanted the other guy. But the supply is going to be so limited. It's going to be a whole thing. But that's, like I said, it's going to depend on you guys entirely because we're not going to give away any Mythic heroes. We're not going to sell them at any point. It's going to be through gameplay. So it's all you guys.
Smarty says, to begin with, want to tell you you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Smarties. You think of the PvP for the future between heroes and the prize pools according to the performances of the heroes in the dungeons. So I think it'd be cool to have the rarer heroes essentially add value to the PvP. Josh and I are still literally like creating the idea of what the PvP might be. I kind of liked what Lewis Babbage brought up about possibility of having recharges to essentially buff up your hero for the next battle. And so I think that would play a part. I think kind of having your hero be the thing that goes and battles in the PvP might because of its bonuses might be slightly problematic, not sure. But maybe there's some kind of resource you get for having like a mythic hero that aids you in the PvP or something like that. But I do think that somehow, a participating hero in dungeons would actually be getting some kind of value add for PvP. Something to kind of evaluate. It's like one of those things like, if you were thinking like, when we released the land game before we came up with the dungeon idea, and dungeons was literally just like a basic idea of like, what if we had like a hero battling thing and you fought monsters, but we knew nothing about it. We're at that stage, full creative stage of building PvP right now. And eventually we're going to get these ideas. We're like, oh, wait, what if we did this? And then, but I'm pretty sure that PvP will be better than anything else we've come up with so far, and everyone's going to be like, oh my god, like this is so awesome, just like we're getting to there with the with dungeons, right? Like castles is always just going to get better. This G says we can also use the M-Source token in dungeons, not right now, but again, like M-Source will probably be used in PvP. And it could be used for more extensions into the game, more expansions. I don't really see M-Source quite being used in dungeons. In the early or wait, do we? Well, we don't have any M-Source.
So M-Source isn't directly used in dungeons, and like Robert was saying, I don't necessarily know or see a reason why we would directly integrate it, but indirectly it is used in dungeons already. In order to get Rune Source, which you desperately need for heroes starting at rare and above, and the epic and above monster tome, you need Rune Source. And the only way to get Rune Source is M-Source. Okay, the only way to get it is through the Crafter chain currently, and then the Alchemist later. When we release will be recharged with Royal Seals and M-Source. So, through Rune Source is where M-Source becomes used in dungeons. So indirectly, it is already used pretty significantly in dungeons. And as we, are really building that, and people are, getting more alchemists as we release them, heroes, tomes, etc., more and more M-Source will be needed to sustain that stuff. So it's definitely going to be used. And as far as future stuff, we'll always keep our games and systems that we developed, like PvP. They'll always be interconnected in some way, right? So exactly how that works out. Like Robert said, we're still in very much in the big concept design phase of PvP, so we can't specifically say exactly how that will work out. But we will keep it in mind, right? If we don't have to create any new tokens, we won't. If we ultimately decide, hey, this kind of needs its own token for this specific purpose, then it'll have a new token, but there will be a good reason for it, and it'll probably still be connected to the economy somehow. But yeah, I mean, we always are looking for ways to just make sure everything stays very integrated.
And just to say, the original announcement was that M-Source would be used to acquire Rune Source way back in the blog months and months ago. But we decided that it was better to continue adding value to the Royal Seals and castles. And that M-Source was just going to have to be our hyperinflationary token. It was going to have to be the token that was very easy to acquire, because people like earning some kind of token for the game, and that is involved in the base game. So the strategy became, well, let's go ahead and just embrace making the M-Source token highly inflationary, and let people earn some for playing the free-to-play mode. So this kind of changed the M-Source token from being a fully basically paid for token in the game, and being a token that you could actually earn for free. So this kind of changed its dynamic with dungeons, where we're like, let's just give M-Source the role of being a token that you can earn for free in the free to play. And it actually doesn't work anymore to have M-Source be basically the token in order to get the rune source, in order to play the dungeons. It doesn't make sense anymore. So we did kind of pivot the use of Msource from the original announcement, but just kind of wanted to make sure that everybody who's been following for a while have that, if they're like, wait a minute, but you guys said that's right. We did change our minds. We did change the way that things were working.
I mean, I don't really see where the change is, though, honestly. That's the only thing.
Well,
it's very directly, Msource is very directly the thing that you use to get rune source. So it's not really a change
at the moment, yeah. But eventually we're going to have the rune source crafter, which will be
right, but he'll still use Msource. So it'll still be using Msource. It's still a conversion.
Okay. Vish G says pet system in dungeons. It'd be cool to have pets. Again, that's like a feature release probably like after PvP. Do we want to do a pet system? I think after PvP we'll probably have to do a really long, hard evaluation of what people want from the system, because after that we'll have the expansion, the dungeons expansion, so you'll have new heroes. So if we do pets, I mean, heck, it might not be in a year or two until we do some kind of like pets or something.
It would be cool. It definitely falls under what we talked about a little earlier with that would be nice. That would be cool. We like it. It's a cool idea for sure. But it's one of those things we have to just kind of do one thing at a time. And, there is already a lot of pets and monster taming, and let's face it, let's call it what it is, Pokemon-esque games in blockchain already. There's a ton of them. I mean, Axie Infinity was what most people consider to be kind of the genesis of blockchain gaming, whether or not that's true or fair, but that's what a lot of people consider. And obviously that one is, let's be honest, it's basically very much Pokemon inspired. So that's not necessarily the direction that we want to go. But it's not necessarily something we won't do either. It's just one of those things. That trope is used a lot in blockchain already.
Who says he has mint #1 epic cake on the free-to-play, still for sale for $999.
Nice.
Mint, yeah, power up #1, cake #1. That's nice. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. James G says, what's the forecast beyond dungeons? What is next roadmap? That is, I think you actually came in at the tail end of that last conversation. That's all you've been talking about since you came, actually, which is what is after dungeons. So you actually have been in the middle of that conversation. Baby Will asks, how did you guys meet in college? Well, Josh was one of the first people to join our Discord, actually, when the company was just me. I was alone, a solo founder with no other people working in the company or the project. And I basically put up ads on Facebook, and I was sending people to a page with a basic idea for the company that I had and the products that I had. And I had a Discord, and Josh was one of the first people to come into the Discord. And he came in with a lot of questions. He's like, how is this supposed to work? I just answered all of his questions.
Yeah, and, we grinded hard with the questions. I was like, that doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And, and then I was like, okay, I was starting to understand some of these ideas and things like that. And yeah, it was just, I was just mostly blown away by the fact that I came into the Discord and he was very willing to defend his ideas and help me understand them, because I didn't have any experience with blockchain up until that point, right? And realistically, I didn't for a little time after that, because we kind of came in and we had a good conversation, which was great. But Robert was the company was super, super brand new. Absolutely nothing had actually been built yet. We had kind of a little Void Keeper kickoff thing, which I did jump into, but it was just barely anything. And then eventually the Metasource cards came. started becoming developed after that. And I bought a couple of the very earliest ones, which was awesome. But yeah, it was way back. And then it wasn't until you know, a little bit later that that he convinced me to go grab a Gala node, and then I started digging a little more into this, and I was like, hey, you know what, this is really cool. And I thought, hey, I might enjoy being a part of this, and it went from there. But yeah, that's been a while now.
Nice. Yeah, and I really couldn't ask for a better partner, right? Like I come up with a lot of really cool vision ideas, and part of my responsibility is building the brand and the vision of it. But that only gets me part of the way, and Josh is able to fill in the rest of that part, which is it's like, okay, so we're gonna have heroes, we're gonna have monsters. How are all these rarities going to work? How are these commonalities? And Josh does a lot of work too on the marketing and the partnership side of things. And so cannot ask for a better partner. We only met 2 years ago, just 2 years ago. I think it was about 2 years ago, and then we've come very long ways since then. It's been a fun journey.
Very fun.
After 3 doubling events, will Metasource be used excessively for merging? Yeah, actually, Metasource is going to be continue to double in its use in each doubling. So yeah, exactly. Lewis is saying he thinks he's missing some packs. What happened to those 3 Funko Barons? That's a good question, actually.
We still have them. Yeah, I've been toying with different ideas of ways to raffle them off and things like that. But we've been so busy with dungeons, to just spend a lot of time focusing on like a secondary raffle kind of a thing that doesn't have any it's just cosmetic, just for fun kind of a raffle. There just hasn't been a lot of extra time for it. But we will do it. We still have them. Like I said, I've got one right here on my desk. Okay. So, yeah, we still have them.
Can I say it again? Barely even saw. There he is. The Funko Baron.
Ooh, they're awesome. They're really awesome. They look great. They feel great. They're they make an awesome addition to your desk while you're playing castles and having a fantastic time. They are expensive to make, right? So any raffle that we would do that would reward them would be a pretty big one, right? It's going to be a pretty sizable experience. And it's one of those things, right? It's a physical thing, so there's always shipping, but like shipping is nothing compared to the manufacturing of these guys, right? Even if shipping is 20, 30, 40 bucks, that's a pretty small percentage compared to having them made. These are handcrafted. And it'll come with the box, which is customized, and everything here. You want to see the box? It's not picking up very well on the camera. There's the box. It comes in a box. It looks great. But we'll do something. I just don't know exactly what it'll be. Maybe we'll do another Royal Seal and Metasource burn or something. Maybe after the Monster Tome one. Something. We'll do something that it'll be the community is the people who are able to get in on it and win them for sure. We just have to figure out exactly what it'll be. So if you have great suggestions, feel free to send them to me or post them in the suggestions channel. We'll think about it. And when the timing is right, we have a little spare time to run a raffle and things like that, then we'll do it. But it is one of those things that it'll take a little bit of time.
Nice. It's really cool that you went out and you had that made, and I like seeing the questions, but I like how we're kind of like, I want to use, how do we say this the right way? Not dragging it out, but it's like it's the what is it? It's like it's like a good word. It's like enjoying the journey, feels really good. It's basically like the second best feeling next to, I'm not sure I can say that even for, anyways, it's, we enjoy bringing it up from time to time and getting the questions about the Funko Barons. And at some point, some people are going to get some Funko Barons. So James Diaz says, whoops, that was not the wrong one. I wouldn't see. So he says, we happy amount of active players in castles have been growth, been like a marking wombat payoff. Yeah, we're pretty happy. I mean, we're the top 20 blockchain game, a top 20 blockchain game today. We're like number 17. Across all blockchains, we're top 40 decentralized applications. So that's including Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, all those things. And so there's a lot of people playing the free-to-play mode. And yes, we're growing every day, guys. And we're still very, very early days. This is still when Bitcoin, where it's maybe its first news article made about it. Bitcoin is basically covered by some very small news article somewhere. We're very early days for all of this stuff that we're doing, but we're working on it hard every day. For the Wombat, I'm just going to their Discord. You can see a lot of the Wombat users who are coming in. Any upcoming Dungeon Heroes merch? We'll see. Let's see.
We should do some merch. I don't know. Like I said, it's one of those things. It's all about time, right? That's just the it's in the for fun category, and it's not super hard to design the merch and get it onto the store, but it is a little bit time consuming, and it's just one of those things. It's like I've got a lot of other things that you guys probably care about more than me making some extra shirts for you, right? It's cool, and I'm sure you guys would like extra shirts, but you probably would rather that I get more templates made so you can start playing the game. It's kind of priorities.
James C says, can you please try convince me of the value of barons over castles? Well, barons make lands, and it takes one click. Castles make royal seals, and they, barons mint one land a day from farms to villages. Barons are really easy to use. I mean, barons, in terms of value, they're one of the easiest things to use. You click one button, you get a land. So as far as the value, I think it all depends. I think, if you're a player who can have multiple barons, multiple castles, I think it's nice to have a couple of barons mixed in with your castles. But yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. In terms of what's the going market rates and stuff on the market, that's kind of its own thing. But yeah, Lewis Babbage has a great point, which is barons are not craftable. There's only so many barons made, and there's only so much supply out there. Only so much supply out there. Well, I think Josh and I need to get going and get back to the stuff that we got to do today. But this was a fun stream. Thank you guys for joining us. Let us know what you guys got your packs. It'd be nice to know who got those Exalted packs, who got the Kings and the Kings Vault packs and stuff like that. But you guys are really awesome. We really appreciate your support in the game. The Monster Tome sale is Thursday, guys, and we are looking to sell out of these assets and open it up so that you guys can then make some Monster Tomes and Hero packs using Royal Seals.
So let me just clarify something I did. Me and Lewis were working on something. The raffle packs, right? So when the document opens or closes, it randomizes again. So the list is inaccurate now, right? So if you open the list and you look at it, you might see, I won 5 times. Or you might see, I won 2 times. And when you look next time, it'll be something different. So the list it's not accurate now. The list is accurate from when the actual packs that got sent out were sent out to the correct people, because I copied and exported it right then. So just throwing out there, anybody who comes by later and pulls up that document, you're going to see entirely different numbers because the randomizer just keeps running constantly. But all of the packs were sent out to the correct people, and you can go back on the stream to see that. So you can watch the stream, and what you'll see on the stream with the winner results will be exactly accurate for what got sent out. But the document itself is just constantly refreshing. So I guess that's kind of one downside of doing it the way that we did it, is that it just keeps refreshing. So you can't really see the results on the document, unfortunately. But right, we recorded it. So this is live. So you could see it. And all the right people got all the right prizes. It's just now when you go back and look at it, you'll see the randomizer running constantly. So just wanted to make sure that everybody who comes back later, they watch the stream and then they look at the document and they're like, the stream winners says one thing, but the document says something different. Well, don't worry about what the document says now. The people who won on stream the correct way were the ones who got it. So just making sure everybody is aware of that one.
Great. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Creepy. Thank you, James. Warrior Line Gaming. Good to have you here. I think Vishji, I think I've already said Vishji, but Baby Lil, Lou. Good to see all of you guys here. Thank you. Eddie, if you're still here, Smarties. And this was a really fun stream. We look forward to the next time. And Dungeons is here, guys. It's rolling out. And so we're going to have an exciting couple of weeks here. A lot of people coming in to ask about Dungeons, how to play it. And you guys will open your hero packs hopefully next week. Hopefully next week's the week. We'll keep you guys updated, and
we'll get it as early in the week as we can too. I mean, obviously we'll do it as soon as we can do it, as long as we make sure that everything is really good, everything's working right, and assuming, like we mentioned about the pack itself, whether or not it's opening correctly and things like that, we'll have to run a couple of tests. But as soon as we can get it into your hands, we're working hard on it. So hopefully soon, guys.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you during the Monster Tome sale drop on Thursday. Until then, have an awesome time. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a good one, guys. See you, Pac-Man. See you, Eddie.